record, and we'll mute everyone and share my screen. Okay, welcome everyone to the final exam for ToaD Learning Camp. You didn't know there was going to be a test today, did you? Before we end our learning camp, we need to have our final exam. So I've got a couple short answer questions for you all. First one, why do we travel? We travel to learn about the language, history, cultures, how we impact one another. To escape our daily routine, we seek out adventure, excitement, and a new environment. We travel to discover new locales, new food, and discover more about ourselves. And of course, to make new friends, to see people with diverse backgrounds from ourselves and new experiences that we haven't had in our lives. And we travel to experience all that the world has to offer: culture, food, communications, and of course, to bring meaning to our lives. And the final question, why should we give back when we travel? Giving back to the people, places, and organizations that we're visiting when we travel gives us a sense of purpose. It helps us to make an impact in other people's lives and other places. It can also help improve your health because you have a good sense of what you've done. And it gives you the chance to share your expertise. So if you're, for example, helping Habitat with Humanity and building a house and you've got some carpentry skills, you can share that expertise with others. It offers you an opportunity to help others who are in need. And you can inspire your friends and family as well. And of course, update your resume. And it just feels good to do it. Some things to consider about giving back through travel is no place in this world is without needs or problems. Even when we're not at home, we're at somebody else's home. And we should always leave a place better than we found it. What goes around comes around, and every little bit helps. And together we can all make a big difference. So now this is a multiple choice exercise. Would you rather visit a place that looks like this or like this? I'm guessing everyone picked the second one. How about this or here? How about this beautiful sunny day or this sunny day? And this lovely city street or a boat with a lot of friends? I think we know what everybody would choose, but the reality is we've seen the bad pictures happen every place that we've traveled. And if we can do a little bit to make it a better place, that just gives us the opportunity to experience the better pictures in all these examples. This brings me to ToaD Gives Back, our nonprofit organization that gives back to those people, places, and organizations that help to create travel memories for all of us. This started back when we went on our group trip going to the Caribbean after the hurricanes hit there in 2017. And we've realized that giving back when we're traveling is important, not only to the places that we see, but it's also important to make us better people. So how does ToaD Gives Back work? So basically, our volunteer board of directors selects a destination that we're going to give back each year. The distribution committee, who's headed by Mark Mullen right now, selects causes in those destinations. And then our fundraising committee, who's headed by Tanya Sayers right now, sets up fundraisers to bring in the funding needed to help. And then we have various kinds of fundraisers throughout the year, selling different items where we get a portion of the sales, or just doing fundraisers through Facebook or on Giving Tuesday to help us raise the funding. And then as we prepare to go on our trips, we figure out what to purchase for our causes. And while traveling, we attempt to visit the organizations we are helping if it's at all possible, and deliver the goods. And from time to time, causes come up when we aren't traveling. And if that happens and we can do so, we will help. An example of this was last year on Giving Tuesday, we helped the cast member pantry for Disney World cast members that were furloughed because of the pandemic. So if it's possible that we can do that, we try to do that as well. So now I want to take you through an example of a group trip, and this is kind of a preview of what we're doing in August. We're starting in Fairbanks, and one of the optional excursions people could go on is the Riverboat Discovery. And here's our group that went to Alaska last time. This was one of the tribes up there, showed off some of their fairs on the Riverboat Discovery, so we could see a little bit more about their life. We got to see a float plane while we were there, reindeer. There's us on the dome train, and just overlooking the train tracks as we're going down. It doesn't seem like work at all yet, does it? We saw bears in Denali. We saw Denali. We saw, this was a caribou and a moose. And this was taken from outside of our bus. I mean, he was no more than 20 or 30 feet away from the bus. And this is something that we'll have an opportunity to see again this year. There was several bears that were this close to the bus when we were on the trip. And he's just digging for some food. Oops. And our group in front of Denali. Some of our guests are going to do some ATV riding. There's another shot of the mountain. Some of us will check out some dog sleds and the mushers, and a nice sunset from our hotel. And then we're going to move on to, we're going to take in a brunch on the way, and then we're going to end up, and I left out Talkeetna because I don't have any pictures of that right now, but we're going to stop at the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. And this is a place where we can see a lot of different kinds of animals and tour their facility, but we're also going to give back here. And to give you an idea, they have a wish list of items that we can get, items that we can bring, and our distribution committee will go through everything that they're looking to get and figure out what we can give there. The items that we're looking at giving are big ticket items, so one person by themselves is not likely going to give this to the center. So working together, we can pool our resources together and be able to give them more. Then we're going to move on to Seward, and this glacier is walking distance from our hotel in Seward. And we're going to take a boat ride that's going to take us to see things like this, along with some other tidal water glaciers. Then we're going to hop a plane over to Juneau. We can't take a cruise, we got to get to Juneau somehow. Mendenhall Glacier could be on some of our day's plans. There's one of the waterfalls at Mendenhall, and one of our cruisers who had to climb up the waterfall. I wonder if he'll do it again this year. And while we're in Juneau, we're going to help out Aware Alaska. This is an organization that helps victims of abuse, of different kinds of abuse. They do help the Indigenous women in the area, and so we're going to see what we can do to help them. Again, their wish list is long, and we'll just see what we can pull together and help them. We're going to take a day trip over to Tracy Arm Fjord. We might see some waterfalls there, and of course see Sawyer Glacier. And then now the next set of pictures are all from Ketchikan, which we're not going to this time, but it was at the Alaska Raptor Center in Ketchikan, so I figured it was appropriate. We're going to see bald eagles. We could see some owls and some hawks. And this is a totem pole carving that an artist was carving when we were there. At the Alaska Raptor Center, we're going to be able to see birds in flight that have been helped by the Raptor Center. The Raptor Center helps over 200 injured birds every year. And when birds come to them from all over Alaska, they will help them back to get them healthy enough to release them in the wild. And if they can't be released back in the wild, then they become raptors in residence. But they do all kinds of rehabilitation, surgeries, cleaning, whatever is needed to get these animals back to health. This bird, as you can see, swallowed a fishing lure and some paper clips. And they also have a long list. We've already started giving to them by adopting Tito and Tootsie, who are adorable. And this is one of our happy cruisers from last time, waiting to go back again this year. So you might be asking yourself, how can I make a difference? There's lots of ways, and it's not just giving money. The money is definitely needed, and we would definitely welcome that, but you can join one of our committees. You can share our Facebook and Instagram pages, make a donation, purchase something from Amazon. Go on Amazon Smile and look for ToaD Gives Back and designate us as your charity that you want to help. And with your purchases, we'll get a little bit as well. Sell something on eBay. If you sell something on eBay and you list ToaD Gives Back as your charity, you can decide how much you want to give, up to 100% of the purchase price of your items that you're selling on eBay. And eBay will take care of getting that to us as well. You can, of course, join one of our group trips. We do several group trips a year, and if we're not able to give back during the group trip, like we will have a hard time with our trips this summer, just because of some of the restrictions and ultimately where we're going. But we'll look at ways to still gather and have fun and do some fundraising, or just have some fun activities as well. And tell your friends and family about us. I know several of our board members have been doing that, and it's always interesting to me when people reach out that we didn't expect before, that somehow found us. We're also going to look at doing for part of our fundraising for Alaska. I've decided that I'm gonna donate some of my paintings to do an auction. I was just going to do one, but I thought about it and I think I can do a few more. So these are 3 of the ones that I'm going to put up for auction. These are 3 more. And of course, Tito and Tootsie, my babies. And so that's it, and class is dismissed. Thank you all for sticking with me throughout all the the ToaD Learning Camp classes over the last, oh, it's been almost a year now. And we'll probably do something similar in the future, but for now, we're going to stop the regular Wednesday night ones. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. And
I just wanted to add that Tracy and I have the same mind, but in separate locations. That I was at the fabric store the other day, and I'm making one of my quilts for a friend, and I said I'm going to make an Alaska one that I'll auction off. So we're going to have just an arts and crafts festival
I think
auction.
that sounds great.
So
Terrence, do you have any questions? He's silent. Mark, you look like you're going to say something.
I'm trying to remember what the hell I was going to say or ask. So, you know, the one brain cell that's missing right now. I know Delta this week or as of tomorrow or May 1st is discontinuing their center seat policy being empty, so it's going full bore. I'm sure you've heard everybody's heard that.
but they're bringing back drinks. They're going to give little cans of Coke and cocktails and snacks.
You're gonna get anything for first class?
I don't
Yeah,
know about food,
they
but
said something about first class, but it's not going to be like it was before right now.
probably a little
Okay.
bag sandwich.
I think it was
Right.
more boxed meals.
Yeah.
We have we have Hawaii coming up in May, and hitting the various things that they're requiring us to do at this point. That is subject to change weekly. So far, they're not accepting a vaccine passport, so to speak. We do get our last shot Friday, so at least be caught up with Bill. So we'll be doing that. But right now, if I don't get a COVID-19 negative test within 72 hours of my last leg to Hawaii, I have to quarantine for 10 days. I have to upload this stuff to the state of Hawaii's website. One of the things that they seem to be pushing a lot of people is what the hell's the name of the app? That plain ass don't work. Verify.
Mhm.
It does not work whatsoever on my phone or Louise's phone. One of the steps once you start is you have to give them your email address so they can verify your email. Well, we never get to verify on either one of our addresses. And I also threw them a curveball and said I tried my Gmail address, which goes through a whole different, servers complex, and didn't get it there. And they're just sort of like, it works fine for us. So I'm avoiding verify. So, and I'm trying to figure out who I want to get my test done through. Right now, I can get it through American Airlines that Tracy pointed out to me. $939 a person. But one of their things is you get their little app, but they also talk about verify. And I'm thinking about either Walgreens or CVS, but obviously there's a charge for this, so.
And some of them are not that bad of charges, and some of them are coming down in price as well. Hy-Vee are one of our local grocery stores that has a pharmacy there. I want to say that one of the tests that they would do is like $25. So it's
Well, that's minor.
really not that bad. I have seen some upwards of close to $200 a person. But the advantage is you guys shouldn't be testing positive after you've gotten your vaccine, and assuming you still do
Face mask and.
face mask and hand washing and social distancing, all that sort of thing. But if you do, then the chances are you're probably not going to get on the flight and go, because, you know, it changes the whole dynamic of the trip. But
Yeah, who wants to quarantine for 10 days in Hawaii? So, I mean, it's like, okay, I'm sitting in my room looking out at the, and I don't know, and I have not looked at it, what they really mean by quarantining. Are you able to walk around the resort, or you're quarantined to your physical room?
yes,
And I suspect it's the physical room, but
if
you know,
if you're stuck at the resort, you're not quarantining. Quarantining is not coming into contact with other people.
yeah, that's what I figured. So, I
When
mean,
it first started, they were like putting things on your door so you couldn't leave, and they would check the key thing to make sure you logged in and out, that you hadn't, and so they're pretty strict.
and I'm curious as to when is some more of their restaurants going to open back up, since they've opened up their hula. So I mean that,
Hula.
yeah, not hula.
The
Luau. They've opened up their luau. There's where I'm talking about where I'm saying the wrong words at the time now. They opened that up, so they're taking my money for that, and you're getting a lot less. The one advantage previously with the Alani's luau was you could go back and get all the food you wanted. You kept going back and back. You get all the drinks you wanted. Well, now they're going to a plated meal. They've increased the cost by $10. And we don't know what the drinks really are going to be like. So we've got that one, but we still want to go off site for another one just to get a different feel.
Honestly, I feel that we are going to see pricing a little bit higher with pretty much anything to do with travel, because they know that people want to travel.
Mhm.
And there's also going to be limited occupancy at a lot of places for a while. So things will fill up quick. And so it's important to book early and book often.
Well, they have very few restaurants open at Alani right now, so I'm just like, okay, you need to open a few more, but I don't know what type of occupancy they're dealing with. Are they
Yeah, and
25%, 50%, you know?
I'm not sure what their occupancy is, but they are full quite a bit of the rest of the year.
Okay,
Or what the occupancy is, they have reached the occupancy. They had a promotion that they ended early because they don't have anything to sell.
Okay.
So whatever the occupancy is, and they don't generally talk about those kind of things. So whatever it is, they're there.
I have a question, and it actually is regarding ToaD Gives Back, believe it or not. Has Amazon Smile has ToaD Give Back been getting money through Amazon Smile?
Yes, they do it once a quarter. And their quarters are a quarter of the year, but it takes about a month and a half for the money to come in after the quarter ends. So we've only been involved with it for one full quarter where we've gotten paid out so far.
now when I have occasionally purchased stuff through Smile. But I'm less than $5. Has that money still drifted over to you, or do I have to accumulate $5
You
before
don't
my money?
know the amount that they'll give as the minimum is from everybody combined.
Okay,
It's not just
Okay.
one person has to purchase enough for that amount.
okay.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it's not a huge amount. the nice part about it is if you're gonna be buying on Amazon anyway, it doesn't cost you any more to go to Smile at Amazon than to just do it through Amazon Direct. So, and there's a few other places that we're probably gonna look into that do that too, where you can get money back for your purchases. And I mean, it's kind of like a credit card that gives you bonus cash. It's free money, so why not do it? Doesn't cost you anything to do it.
Do they send you or myself a reminder? Like, does it expire? Because I forgot when I signed up for it. I mean, I know it says, because when I check out, it always says that it benefits to it's back, but I just wondered if it expires or if they, let you know when you need to re-up or.
I don't think you have to do anything. I think it's just there. As long as you go to that link, as long as you go to smile.amazon.com, it's always selected unless you change it.
Yeah, it doesn't expire anything.
Yeah, I used to be giving to another organization for years, and then when we started ours, I switched it over, and it just switched it automatically to that as soon as I switched. And it just, if you purchase something, and even if it's a 5-cent donation, they'll add it to our pool, and if we reach the minimum amount that they'll give, it just automatically happens.
So we should be ending a new quarter tomorrow then.
Well, today would end the quarter, so
Yeah.
probably mid-May is when we would
Okay,
get the
get a
payout.
rollover.
Yeah. I kept wondering, because it didn't happen in January, and it was quite a ways into February before we finally got it. So it took them quite a while, and it may have even been March. I don't remember. This last month seems to be taking a long time. I don't know why.
We used some of our honey baked gift cards. I actually picked up a ham today. So, and I
Yay.
saved a bunch of them for Christmas. They're not a bunch. I saved a couple of them for Christmas. And
Ham is delicious any time of year.
and I sort of got to the point where I said, wish I had bought another one. So
You know, Gail said, she came to me like 5 days after it ended, and she said, the link still works. Can I still get something? And then she went back into it, and it had stopped working right then. So she's like, I wanted one more. Any
Yep.
other questions? Otherwise, I'll stop the recording.